Now, the EFCC boss, Ola Olukoyede, has decried the number of students trained to be leaders of tomorrow engaging in internet fraud. He called on the media to assist in enlightening the Nigerian youths to refrain from cybercrimes. Now, he said, and I quote, "It is worrisome that 7 out of 10 students today are involved in cybercrimes." He stated, indicating that 70% of Nigerian university students are estimated to be involved in internet fraudulent practices. Now, while his intention may have been to shed light on a pressing issue and to call for action, his choice of words has caused outrage among the youths who feel unfairly targeted and stigmatized by his remarks. The widespread backlash on social media reflects a growing frustration and a demand for clarity and understanding. Well, I'm now joined by Pedro Chibuzo Obi, the President, National Association of Nigerian Students from Abuja. Hello, Pedro. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too, Pedro. I think it's fair to start off on a more personal note. So what would you say your thoughts are on the chairman's characterization of 70% of Nigerian university students as internet fraudsters?
Okay, thank you very much. You see, I think we must also be fair now to the chairman who has quickly come out to debunk that statistics, because the very first day we heard about that statistics from the EFCC, a very well respected parastatal law enforcement agency. It really shook the entire fabrics of the Nigerian student community, because I know for a fact that the student community is doing all we can to ensure that we have the right people who give a very good name to the Nigerian people. So when we have such a statistics, it is not out of place for the student community, for National Association of Nigerian Students as the umbrella body of the entire Nigerian student in both at home and diaspora to come out to say, no, we are not okay with this stereotyping. We are not okay with this characterization of genuine Nigerian students who are striving in our various campuses against all odds to come out with good grades, against all odds to ensure that we do researches to bring in ideas to solve problems. But by the time you take few bad eggs and say 70% is involved in internet fraud is rather unfortunate. And thank God that the chairman has come out to say that is not what he meant and that is not what he said. So there is a whole lot of sensitization that should go in that regard. The EFCC are welcome to get across to our campuses and sensitize our people on the need for the student community to be involved in genuine issues, in genuine things, to bring in new ideas to bear as far the campuses is concerned. So I won't longer be dwelling on the issue of the characterization in terms of the 70% that was earlier reported, because Mr. Chairman, the executive chairman, has come out to refute that statistic. So my dear people, the Nigerian students, we are not happy, no doubt. So I want to believe probably that is the reason why Mr. Chairman came out immediately to debunk that. And for me, it shouldn't have happened at all, because whatever for the media or whoever that has misrepresented that, it means that in a way, something might have gone wrong for them to have actually even reported it in that regard. So there shouldn't be any reason. Stereotyping is one of our major problems. There is need for us, a respected organization as EFCC should even be able to profile Nigerians better, because Nigerian students have suffered a lot. The moment we leave the shores of the country, we are being profiled. The moment we leave the shores of Nigeria, we are being called bad names and the rest of them. So a well-respected organization like EFCC should join us, should join the National Association of Nigerian Students to ensure that we take the message of hope, we take the message to the outside world to say Nigerian students are the best. You see, by the time, that is why you see where anytime you see Nigerian students in the UK, United States, you see at the end of the day in their class, they come out top of the class, because we are brilliant people, we are intelligent people. So this is what the EFCC should be able to help us to do, and other law enforcement agencies and other organizations. This is what they are supposed to help us to do, to tell the outside world that Nigerians are good people. Nigerians are hardworking people. Nigerian students are hardworking people. So no matter what, we must be able to tell the world that we have good people in our campus, undermining the very few bad eggs. There are very few bad eggs. I'm a student of Delta State University. I know what our students are doing in Delta State University. I've also traveled to various campuses. I've also traveled to various campuses across the length and breadth of the country, and I know the way and manner our students are serious with their study. So we can't use because very few people are involved in whatever thing they are doing, and then we characterize 70%. No, that is not possible. For me, I don't even see us is infinitesimal, if at all, because we also have a situation where people who are not even students, because we must tell ourselves the truth. Some of these people want to claim they are students or not, but Nigerian students are not involved. I can assure you that Nigerian students are not involved. And we must take this message to the right quarters, that Nigerian students are not involved in internet fraud. You have people who are just on their own in campus environment claiming students. So you cannot say because of that and say they are students, they are Nigerian students. No, they are not Nigerian students. No Nigerian students is involved in internet fraud, and I can tell you for a fact. So because you saw what happened at OAU few weeks ago, where the EFCC went, bundled people, genuine Nigerian students who are involved in tech and the rest of them, because anybody you see with good laptops and probably phones, you just want to characterize them and stereotype them as internet fraudsters. That is not true. And we all know what happened. At the end of the day, you saw that virtually everybody that were arrested wrongly were released because there was nothing incriminating with them. That is what we are saying, that students, Nigerian students, we know what we are doing. We are more closer to them. The EFCC as an organization should ask us as NANS, what are your students doing? We will tell them our students are involved in their academics and they are taking their academics very seriously.
All right, Pedro, what do you think would have warranted the EFCC the chairman saying that? Do you think that something triggered it? Maybe they got new statistics or out of worry or fear for the students. Why do you think he made that statement when he made the statement?
Thank you. You see, like I said earlier, he has come as an organization, as the chairman of an organization, well-respected organization, to debunk it. So we should no longer be dwelling on that. Yes, probably he has go back, when he went back to his statistics and checked that message was wrong. So you should not dwell on my own position that Nigerian students are not fraudsters. Nigerian students are not involved in internet fraud. So let us not go back to whatever that has been misrepresented according to him.
Yes, Pedro, I understand you. I understand you. I'm just saying that for a statement to have been made, I'm not talking about the statistics now, whether it's 7 out of 10 or 70%, he has debunked that. But for him to be talking about internet fraudsters, and you have mentioned that, you know, as the president of NANS, you're closer to the students, so you know that these students are more involved in their academics, right? But they're still saying that absolutely. Some students, we're not saying it's 70% now, but some students are still involved in fraudulent activities. So why do you think that is? Why do you think that that concern came to light?
You see, the academic environment is not isolated from the society. The academic environment, our campuses are not isolated from Nigeria as a country. So wherever you will say there are bad eggs everywhere. There are bad eggs everywhere. So you won't say because of there are bad eggs in the society, so therefore all Nigerians are criminals. And I think that is what you are trying to say, the message may be trying to portray. So that is why I'm telling you that as a matter of fact, Nigerian students, obviously, for a fact, people who have been wrongly arrested in the name of internet fraud and all that. You were aware, and at the end of a few weeks ago, that was when the chairman, which to me, we appreciate him for giving that directive, that nobody, none of his officers should go in the dead of the night to say they are ransacking hostel, they are arresting students. He should stop forthwith. And I commend the chairman, the executive chairman, for giving that directive. And I want to believe that no matter what, that will not happen again. So because it is also from most likely from their statistics that they got it that virtually 90 to 95% of those arrests that have been made in the dead of the night turn out to be false. I want to believe that is the reason why they make that directive that nobody should be arrested in the dead of the night any longer. It is inhuman. And I want to assure you that as Nigerian students, as NANS as the umbrella body of Nigerian students, we will never take it any longer. And I'm happy that Chairman has also given that directive. That you can't say because probably one or two things are happening, then you say we will go and bundle everybody in the campus. People who have exam the following morning and all that are being subjected to all inhuman practices. You see, even in the Western world, they are bad people. Even in the Western world, you can Google it. The hackers, the baddest hackers we have in the world today are not Nigerians. The highest prevalent rate of fraudsters are not Nigerians. So we must stop forthwith characterizing our people, stereotyping our people. There is need for us to be a good ambassador of this country. And that is why I said that as NANS president, I am the #1 ambassador of the educational sector as far as the country is concerned. So therefore, we must sell our students, we must sell our educational sector genuinely to the outside world, to even bring in more international students to our campus. But by the time messages like this are being sold to the outside world, you just look at it. How will people be so free to bring their words from South Africa, from Tanzania, from Germany, and wherever to our campuses to school? As the president of NANS, I have said it several times, countless number of times, that I am here to remain a good ambassador of the Nigerian educational sector. And we will partner with federal government to ensure that we will serve the educational sector correctly and rightly, and join the federal government, join Mr. President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to ensure that we package and position the educational sector, because we believe he's a man that believes in education. And I know partnering with him and the leadership of the country will go a long way to set the educational sector rightly to the appropriate quarters. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Pedro. And I like the passion with which you speak. You truly are a representative of the Nigerian students. But also, we would agree that in every society, there are bad eggs, no matter how few. So the question now remains, how do we filter out the bad eggs so as not to corrupt the good eggs? And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, you know, in the educational system. What ways now are the appropriate ways? Because, of course, now there's no more sting operations at night, which shouldn't have been in the first place, quite all right. You know, and we're also trying to tread carefully so as not to profile people wrongfully, like you said. So it is now a very sensitive situation. So in a situation where we find a group of persons who are actually guilty of these things that we've talked about, how do we filter them out of the students without, you know, polluting the entire education system and misprofiling the rest of the students?
Okay, thank you. You see, like I said earlier, we can't use because we have very few bad eggs and say we're going to bundle everybody. There are some politicians has been arrested for fraudulent activities and the rest of them, and you know where they sit more together. I think the National Assembly is a place that houses more politicians at a particular point in time. So you can't say because of that, then because politicians are involved in fraudulent activities or the rest, then you see EFCC or ICPC don't move with their personnel and hit the National Assembly and say they want to go and arrest people. You get that? So in order not to allow some of these things to happen, or probably take away or filter away the bad eggs, there is absolutely not, if government wants to, if the security agencies want to work, we have seen it countless times, they know what to do. So we use because they are bad people in the campus, so therefore we'll just go and pack everybody like sardine and say we want to start profiling them. So what I'm saying in essence is that there should be sensitization. National Assembly of Nigerian Students, under my leadership as NANS president, will do everything possible to ensure we partner with the EFCC and other fraud detecting organizations to ensure that we make it possible sensitized our community. And in doing so, because you say somebody is in the university, polytechnics, or colleges of education, they are there to learn. They are there to see the other side of life. So even if somebody is involved in bad activities or whatever, the correctional centers, which is the prison, is not there to go and destroy people. It's also there to correct people and change their ways of life. So in doing this sensitization, in partnering with EFCC and other agencies, we intend to ensure that we will bring this whole thing to bear and let the people know and let the students know that taking on criminal venture is not the best way to go.
Right.
So therefore, there is need for you to come out from that activity, that fraudulent activity, and join in nation building.
Okay.
And you see,
all right, Pedro, apologies for that. Very quickly, I'm going to come back to you and ask at least one more question before we let you go. But I want us to take a look at some of the tweets. Like I said, people on social media were not really taking it lightly. So let's take a look at some of the tweets from students especially and what they had to say about it. Now, this person says, cybercrime being worrisome or disturbing is not the issue. Arresting the students or youth won't solve any problem. They are our energy-bursting citizens. Keep them busy with job availability. They are ready to explore new areas of human development. Another person says, I strongly disagree with the generalization that 7 out of 10 students are involved in cybercrime. While there may be instances of cybercrime among students, I believe the majority of our youth are law-abiding and aspire to make positive contributions to the society. Another one says, I will not support anyone who says, leave the youth alone. A criminal is a criminal, no matter the age, okay? Please, EFCC chairman, though we know you guys are trying, but we need you to do better. Anyone caught of any financial or cyber crime should be arrested and prosecuted by the law. Any Nigerian youth having dread on their head at official EFCC operative will start running after them as if they're criminals or robbers, looking at Mr. Jack Smith doing dread shows that not everyone with dread is an internet fraudster. And this one says, way forward. You can't even dress nice in Jos again because of police tagging every youth as, internet fraudsters. And finally, Tochi says, only about 38% of Nigerians have access to internet. More than half of that percentage has inadequate or unstable access due to issues like poor electricity, cost of purchasing internet data, and high cost of gadgets. With all these issues persisting, there is an indication. Well, those are the opinions of the youths on social media, but one actually struck a chord, and I'm sure that it did for you too as well, Pedro. The person who was saying that regardless of the age, a criminal is a criminal. What do you have to say about that?
Of course. We won't say because you are students, so therefore a criminal should be pampered. No, not at all. We are not saying that. But what we are saying is that don't stereotype us as Nigerian students because it has a far-reaching negative effect whenever our student leaves the shores of the country and even here. So what we are against is stereotyping. Don't generalize us. Don't generalize it. Wherever, if the criminal is arrested, why not? You can, of course, adequately take care of that in line with the laws of the land. We are not saying a criminal because he's a student should be pampered or whatever. What we are saying is that don't give us a bad name because you will not know the far-reaching negative effect is going to have on us, the impact is going to have on us whenever, anytime we leave the shores of the country. As Nigerian students, we remain good ambassadors. We know the number of students in our campuses who go to bed hungry, waiting, ensuring that they study to pass out in flying colors. So by the time you generalize and stereotype us, those set of people are also being given bad name. And by the time they leave the shores of the country or even here, people will be looking at them with bad eyes and negativity. So that is why we are saying, as agents of government, as parastatals of government, whatever you say is very, very critical, it's very, very important, it's very, very sensitive. So we must manage and be sensitive in whatever that comes out from our mouth or from the organization.
Okay. All right. Pedro Chibuzo will be President, National Association of Nigerian Students from Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your opinion on this. Like I said, you really are a true representative of the students and you've spoken well on their behalf. Thank you once again for joining us.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
And you too. All right, this is still Fafanua Africa, and we just finished the first half, so if you're just joining, you haven't missed much, but we're going into our creativity series very shortly, so you don't want to miss that. Stay with us.